Good day, I'm Dr. T and welcome to my office. And this video gets to start out with a disclaimer. I'm a chemistry instructor, not a cybersecurity expert, not a lawyer. So this is advice from someone who's been doing this for many years, not someone who is specifically trained in the field kind of thing. And what am I talking about? Well, that is storing student data because part of your task as an instructor is going to be collecting grades, collecting assignments, doing things with information that's not really supposed to get out into the wild. And so you want to do a reasonable job of trying to keep that information secure. Obviously, if you're trying to keep the CIA out of this, that's probably not going to keep them out, whatever you do. But hey, you need to keep it so some rando can't just grab student grade data. So how are you going to do this? So there's actually kind of two approaches that I'm going to be taking that I normally deal with my classes. First, I utilize the learning management system as much as possible. Your school probably pays good money for this thing. You might as well get the use out of it. So if I keep my grade book in the learning management system, then IT is responsible for backing it up and securing the grade data. The students can see it. It's convenient for me. This works great, accessible wherever I have the web. Likewise, students can upload files to the learning management system. Those files are on the learning management system. I don't have to deal with them. And in general, this makes my life much easier, simply offloading most of these responsibilities to the professionals in the IT department. Now, sometimes that's not a viable option. For starters, if it's not an electronic file, if it's an actual piece of paper, well, you can't upload a piece of paper to the cloud. I mean, you can scan it, and sometimes I will have students do that, but you get the idea. So physical pieces of paper, I go with the 2-lock rule. The idea here is that under most circumstances, if the paper is not, in my direct possession, I want to have it behind 2 locks. So I collect a pile of papers from the students. They put it on the table as they left. I pick them up and I walk them to my office. I walk them to my filing cabinet, unlock the filing cabinet, shove them in the filing cabinet, lock the filing cabinet, and my office door stays locked when I'm not in there because things can walk off. I've had that happen. This means, though, that in order to gain access to those student papers, one has to gain access to my office and to my filing cabinet. Probability that's much lower than simply gaining access to my office by itself. You don't really want to leave these things just lying around. Now, sometimes there's also electronic files that I need to keep for whatever reason. For instance, I need to back up from the LMS because maybe at some schools the LMS doesn't get backed up as much as it should be. Or alternatively, I want to keep information about, say, the final for multiple years in order to do statistics, etc. In these cases, what I want to do is extend the 2-lock general rule that I have to include, cryptography and cyber locks. So in general, my computers have encrypted hard drives. And so anything on them is encrypted, but if you gain access to the computer, which was a little bit difficult, but if you do gain access to it, you now have access to the files. So it needs to be in a second encrypted that's just going to encrypt it. You can do this with a variety of free and paid programs. I'll let you bug your IT department as to which ones they like the best. So if I've got like a grade book that I've just downloaded and I'm going to keep it, it goes on my computer with a secured hard drive, and then it is secured by encrypting it itself. Alternatively, there are a few cases where I do still utilize movable, USB sticks, etc. Not the greatest one because those can be left behind, so ideally you want to avoid those as much as possible. But when it comes to things like clickers, sometimes those are your best bet depending on which system you use. And in that case, the USB drive is encrypted, and then the USB drive lives in the office. That way, it doesn't get lost, and even if it is lost, it's still encrypted. Make sure to use halfway decent encryption when doing this. So with that said, that's kind of what I do to keep my grade data safe. In another video, I'll talk about who you get to talk about the students with and who you don't get to. With that said, have a wonderful day.